Now listen, if you want your car to stick around for the long haul, and I'm talking 500,000 miles or more, you've got to treat it like a machine, not a punching bag. One of the best habits you can develop right now. Drive smarter. That means ditching the lead foot and giving your car a chance to breathe and operate the way the engineers intended. Let's break it down. First off, ease up on the gas and brake pedals. I see folks every day slamming on the gas like they're trying to win a drag race to the fridge, then panic braking like they just spotted their ex on the crosswalk. That kind of driving isn't just bad for your nerves, it's brutal on your drivetrain, suspension, brakes, and your tires. Modern cars are fast, no doubt, but high G-forces from sudden moves mean more stress on bushings, mounts, tie rods, you name it. Keep your speed reasonable. Just because your car can do 180 km per hour doesn't mean it should. High-speed driving cooks your transmission fluid, overheats the engine, and chews through tires like bubblegum. And here's a twist. Driving too slow all the time isn't good either. That's right. If you're constantly crawling around town and never getting the revs up, your oil pressure stays low, your coolant doesn't circulate properly, and carbon starts building up in places you don't want carbon. So yes, grandma-style driving can be a problem too. And here's something most folks overlook: short trips. If you're constantly driving 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, your engine barely gets up to operating temperature. That means oil stays thick, moisture doesn't burn off, and sludge starts building up. Over time, that's a one-way ticket to clogged oil passages and poor fuel economy. Make a point of getting in at least one good 20-30-minute highway run each week. Call it therapy for your engine. Now I know some of you treat your car like a storage unit. Boxes, golf clubs, 5 gym bags from New Year's resolutions past. All that extra weight. It's hurting your fuel economy and wearing out your suspension faster than you think. Lighten the load. Your shocks and struts will thank you. Still with me? Good, because here comes something most people totally skip. Engine-friendly operation. Your engine is not a morning person. Give it 30 to 60 seconds after you start it, especially in cold weather, before you put it in gear. You don't need to let it idle for 10 minutes like it's 1980, just enough to let the oil circulate. And definitely don't rev it cold. That's when oil is at its thickest and your engine is at its most vulnerable. In turbocharged engines, it's even more important to respect temperature. After a long or spirited drive, give the engine a chance to cool down before you shut it off. Just 30 seconds of idle can let the turbo cool and prevent oil from coking up inside. Now, let's talk transmission etiquette. This one's for all you manual drivers out there. Don't shift gears while the car is still moving in reverse or rolling forward. Always come to a full stop before shifting directions. Otherwise, you're stressing the synchros and potentially the gears themselves. And while you're at it, keep your hand off the shifter when you're not shifting. That constant pressure adds where to the ball joint and the synchronizer rings. And please, for the love of clutches, don't rest your foot on the clutch pedal while driving. That's called riding the clutch, and it's a surefire way to fry it early. Don't go flicking paddle shifters every time you're cruising to the grocery store. That's a fun feature, not an arcade game. Use it wrong, and the wear builds up faster than your repair budget. Oh, and please don't coast in neutral going downhill thinking you're saving fuel. Modern fuel injection systems cut fuel delivery when you're in gear and off the throttle anyway. Coasting in neutral just removes engine braking and control. Speaking of brakes, let's not abuse them either. If you're the kind of driver who rests your foot on the brake down a hill, you're asking for warped rotors. Instead, shift to a lower gear and let engine braking do the heavy lifting. This keeps your brakes cooler and your wallet fuller. Same goes for braking on bumpy roads or during a turn. Always slow down before the bump or curve, not while you're in it. Now let's talk steering and suspension habits. Never use full steering lock while stationary. That's called dry steering, and it puts a ton of stress on your power steering pump and tie rod ends. Turn the wheel while rolling just a bit. It's way easier on the components. And hey, I get it, taking corners fast feels fun. But aggressive cornering chews through tires and stresses your suspension like nothing else. Save the race car moves for a track day, not the grocery store run. Alright, moving on from driving habits. Let's pop the hood, crawl underneath, and talk about something that's easy to neglect but crucial to keeping your car alive: fluids. Your car runs on more than just fuel. Think of it like a human body. It's got blood, brain fluid, joint grease, you name it. Let's start with engine oil, the lifeblood of your engine. Check it regularly, like once every couple of weeks or every 1,000 miles. Pull the dipstick when the engine is cold or has sat for a bit, and check not just the level but also the condition. If it looks milky, that's a big red flag. Coolant might be sneaking into your oil. Now for oil changes. Modern cars usually call for intervals between 5,000 and 7,000 miles, depending on whether you use synthetic or conventional oil, and whether you're dealing with stop-and-go traffic, dusty roads, or freezing cold. Personally, I always recommend going a bit sooner than your manual suggests, especially if your car sees rough conditions. And speaking of oil changes, if your oil filter is vertically mounted, pre-fill it before installation to avoid dry starts. If it's not, disable the fuel system and crank the engine a few seconds to let it prime. Now that we've got oil covered, let's not forget the other fluids working behind the scenes. Coolant keeps your engine from becoming either a block of ice or a furnace. Flush it every 3 to 5 years, or as recommended in your manual, and always mix it properly with distilled water. Too much or too little concentration messes with your cooling efficiency. Brake fluid. Now this one's sneaky. Most people don't even think it needs changing, but guess what? It absorbs moisture over time. When that water content goes above 3%, the boiling point drops, and your brakes can fade under heavy use. That's why manufacturers recommend a flush every 3 to 4 years. Let's talk about the transmission fluid next. I don't care if your car says it's sealed for life. That's marketing speak. In reality, you should be replacing transmission fluid around every 50,000 to 60,000 miles, especially for automatic and dual clutch systems. Manual gearboxes and differentials also need love. Change those fluids every 60,000 to 100,000 miles depending on the make. Oh, and one last thing on fluids. Windshield washer fluid. Top it off regularly. It's cheap, and visibility is safety. Now let's roll down to the tires, literally. Tires are your car's only contact with the road, and keeping them in top shape makes a huge difference in both safety and longevity. Modern cars come equipped with a tire pressure monitoring system, TPMS, and many newer systems can automatically recalibrate themselves after tire rotations or pressure changes. However, it's still a good habit to manually check your tire pressure regularly. Check your tire pressure at least once a month, especially during seasonal changes. Hot or cold weather can swing your PSI wildly. Always go by the pressure on the sticker inside your driver's door, not the number stamped on the tire. That one's just the max pressure, not the recommended one. Also, look at your tread wear. If it's wearing more in the center, you're overinflated. If the edges are more worn, you're underinflated. And if it's worn more on one side than the other, you've likely got an alignment problem, and that's slowly eating away at your tires and suspension. All right, we've talked about how to drive, how to check your fluids, and how to treat your tires right. But none of that means much if you're not paying attention to what your car is telling you. Yes, your car talks. Not with words, but with warning lights, strange noises, and the occasional puddle on your driveway. First up, watch your dashboard. If a warning light comes on, don't treat it like background decoration. That little check engine light. It could be something simple like a loose gas cap, or something serious like a misfire or failing catalytic converter. Catch it early, and it might be a $60 fix. Wait too long. That repair might turn into a $1,500 exhaust job. Next, use your ears. That clanking, squeaking, or high-pitched whine isn't the car trying to beatbox. It's a cry for help. Bearings, belts, suspension parts, they all make noise before they fail. Ignore the sound now, and you might be calling for a tow truck later. And if you ever see fluid on the ground, take it seriously. A little oil drip might not seem like much until your engine runs dry and seizes up. Always track where it's leaking from and get it checked sooner than later. While you're at it, pop the hood and check those battery terminals. A little corrosion around the posts can stop your car from starting, or worse, fry electrical components. Clean them off every few months with a brush. It's like giving your car a dental checkup. And don't forget the simple stuff like hinges and locks. Every now and then, give your door hinges, latches, and locks a spritz of lubricant. Oh, and here's a tip you don't hear often. Don't run your gas tank to empty. Fuel acts as a coolant for the fuel pump, and when you're constantly running on fumes, you risk overheating it. Plus, over time, sediment collects at the bottom of the tank. Run low too often, and that gunk might get sucked into the lines or clog the filter. So yeah, keep it above a quarter tank. Now let's park that thought and talk about, well, parking. Leaving your car unused for weeks? That's like putting your muscles in a cast. Everything stiffens up. Battery drains, oil settles, tires develop flat spots, and rubber parts start to dry out. If you're storing the car for more than a couple weeks, get yourself a battery maintainer, fill the gas tank, and inflate the tires properly. Better yet, pop it on jack stands if you can. Also, don't skip the parking brake, even on flat ground. Modern cars have a little device called a parking pawl inside the transmission that locks the gears when you put it in park. But if the car gets bumped or rolls just a bit, all that force goes onto one tiny component. Use the parking brake and take the load off your transmission. Here's how to do it properly. Come to a full stop, shift into neutral, apply the parking brake, then shift to park. And hey, don't bake your car in the sun. Parking in direct sunlight, especially day after day, destroys plastic trims, fades your paint, and cracks your dashboard. If you can't find shade, at least toss a windshield sunshade up. Ever drive on snowy, salted roads in the winter? That salt is basically acid for your undercarriage. If you don't wash it off, especially the underside, you're going to be dealing with rusted exhausts, brake lines, and suspension bolts in no time. A basic underbody wash every few weeks in winter can save you thousands in future rust repairs. And finally, don't cheap out on parts. Sure, that $12 air filter on Amazon looks tempting, but if it clogs early or lets in dirt, it's your engine that pays the price. Stick with OEM or high-quality aftermarket brands for spark plugs, oil filters, fuel filters, timing belts, and especially engine oil. All right, deep breath. That's a lot to take in. But here's the thing. A little care here, a bit of attention there, and your vehicle could keep going strong long after others hit the junkyard. Think of these habits as your car's daily vitamins. Cars don't die from age, they die from neglect. And hey, if you've made it this far, you're already doing better than 90% of drivers out there. Your car deserves an owner like you. Let me know in the comments, what's one habit you swear by to keep your car running smooth? And don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this helpful, because I've got way more coming for car lovers just like you.